So the recording is on. So welcome everybody, and please, Renate, start the, the session.
Start welcoming you. So yeah, hello everyone. We are welcoming today Franco Follini, who is one of our instructors in the CAWEB program. CAWEB means multilingual web communication. My name is Renate De Leppe. I am the program director of this master's program and also the program director of another master's in technical communication and localization. We are really very happy today to have Franco Follini around with a presentation on Mastodon marketing. Perhaps a couple of words about our master's program. It's called CAWEB, and CAWEB means multilingual web communication. To keep it short, we have basically two tracks. One track is on campus for local students fluent in French, and they do it in 2 years on campus in France. But we also have a distance learning track. And this distance learning track can be joined by international students as well. It is in English. It's completely remote. That's why we have this presentation today online as well. It's part of the program, or it's part of a series of webinar and presentations we organize. If you have any questions, please reach out to me about the program. But I would say, yeah, hand it over to Franco Follini. Welcome. We are really honored to have you around for this presentation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and I welcome everybody. So let me start to share my screen, and then I will have to set up 1 second my screen with the chat and the list of participants. Okay, so tonight we will talk about Mastodon and how to approach Mastodon in terms of marketing. As Renate just said, I'm teaching a class for social media content and marketing for CAWEB, and this is not part of the course or the classes. It's just an extra contribution. And I recently joined Mastodon. As you know, Mastodon has been around for a few years, but only became very popular only recently, following the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk. So after the acquisition, a lot of people were leaving Twitter and looking for alternative platforms for social media, and Mastodon was a really attracting solution. Still a very small platform. So let's start to understand what is Mastodon and why it can be a really good opportunity for marketing, okay, if approached in the right way, okay, because it's a kind of it's a completely different beast compared to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on, okay. So we will see during the presentation what are the specific features of Mastodon and what are my recommendations to establish yourself or your brand on Mastodon to get visibility, and possibly don't want to say to post viral content, but to get as much visibility as possible, okay? So first of all, Mastodon is an open source software, okay? So if you are a programmer, you can look at the code and understand what's going on, and so it's very transparent, okay? Personally, I don't have any desire to start digging into the code, but if you have this kind of curiosity, you want to double check what's going on under the hood, for sure you can do it. Okay, Mastodon is has a unique microblogging features, very similar to Twitter, and the main difference is that there are multiple instances. So basically, places, computers that are running Mastodon, and each instance can have a conversation with the other instances. Okay, we will analyze this part in more details later, but theoretically you can have a computer at home and install your own copy of Mastodon, and your copy of Mastodon will start to conversation with every other instance, and so you are not depending on anymore on the Elon Musk of the situation. Okay, you are very independent, and nobody can tell you what to do on your Mastodon. Okay, this is a little bit of an extreme, but let's look at the good reasons why we are looking at Mastodon from the marketing point of view. Okay, so at the moment is a brand new system in terms of popularity, and is attracting people with a very strong technical background, according to statistics, with above average income, and they are very motivated and very engaged. So the level of engagement on Mastodon is very, very high. So this is good if you're a user, it's very enjoyable, but also means there are good opportunities for in terms of marketing. Okay, and at the moment there are no big brands, big corporation on Mastodon. Only I was able to find only small businesses and some non-profit. So if you think about General Motors, Coca-Cola, or General Electrics, or the big oil companies, they are not there. Okay, and that means there is a space for us to, you know, get some visibility, because we don't have to compete with those big giants. Okay, and also because of the way Mastodon is set up, usually we can count on above average users' attention span. So we can even afford to write a little bit longer. 1 second, I have to meet a couple of people. Okay, we can afford a little bit longer post, and people will read our post. Okay, so let's continue. 1 second. Okay, so at the moment, Mastodon is a very small environment. Okay, so this is a graph that shows a chart that shows you to show what is the monthly active users. As you can see, Mastodon is very, very tiny number, okay, compared to Facebook and so on. So why I'm recommending to consider Mastodon when we have such a small number of users? Well, because you want to, as a marketers, we want to learn how to use Mastodon. We want to establish ourselves before the place becomes too crowded, okay, too competitive. Okay, so now we have the advantage of being among the first to be on the platform, and so we can leverage this advantage to establish an audience, to gain popularity, and so on. Okay, so let me go back a little bit and try to explain what is an instance. Okay, an instance is, first of all, there is no central server. Okay, there is not like, if you think about Twitter or Facebook, there is it's not technically one single server, but there is a battery of servers, server farm, where all the software is running, and this server farm is 100% under control of Facebook or Twitter. For Mastodon, this is not true. Every group of people can create, or individual, they can create their own instance and run their account on the instance, okay? And what is an instance? You have to think about like your neighborhood, okay? So you belong to a neighborhood, but you can talk to everybody in the city, okay? So the collection of all the instances is the city, and the single instance is your neighborhood, okay? So if I can create my own account on any instance, how do I select which instance? Okay, for example, when I started to play with Mastodon, I selected the Italian instance, the most popular Italian instance. There are multiple, more than one. And now I'm there, I'm okay. I'm not gonna move somewhere else. But so the same way when you select a neighbor, if you're an artist, you select a neighborhood with a lot of artists. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you select a neighborhood with a lot of vegans and vegetarians. So you will have, you can find specialized stores, restaurants, and you won't starve because everybody's serving meat, okay? So the same way you said the instance that is the best possible match with your interest, your line of business, okay? And how do we see the instance? Well, each Mastodon user has an ID, okay? In my case, my ID is, for example, Franco. And if I'm on the instance called mastodon.social, my complete ID will be @franco@mastodon.social, okay? And what are the benefits of joining one instance rather than the other? Is that there is a specific feed. Mastodon has multiple feeds, and then we will see, but one is for all the local or the people in your local instance. So if I join Mastodon selecting the instance of artists, then we'll see all the discussion going on among artists, okay? But the beauty of Mastodon that anytime I can move my account from one instance to another one, okay? This gives me a lot of freedom, and when I move the account, I'll take with me all my contacts, okay? So it's not like when you move from Facebook to Twitter, all your network on Facebook will be lost the moment you join Twitter and you cancel your old account on Facebook. With Mastodon, you can move from one instance to the next one, and you can take with you your network of contacts, okay? This is super interesting, okay? So when we look at all the hundreds of thousands of different instances around the globe, all those instances are called the Fediverse, okay? The federated universe, metaverse, how you want to call it. So the Fediverse. And so it's a little bit a technical word, it's not very common, but if you are on Mastodon, maybe sometimes people talk about Fediverse and they mean just the entire collection of instances. And if you want to go a little bit on the technical side, the protocol that allows all the instances to exchange information is called ActivityPub, okay? Pub as a publication, not as a bar. And so if I'm running a marketing department for a brand, one of the main questions will be, do I have to create my own instance of Mastodon, or is it better for me to join? I try to list the benefits and the limitation of the two options. So basically, if I join, for example, if I'm selling products for artists, obviously I have to, it's a good idea to join a Mastodon with artists, okay? And if Also, running instance requires some technical skills, requires a reliable interconnection, maintenance of a server, and so on. So unless you have, you are working for a large company, probably is not a good idea to create your own instance. Okay. And finally, let's say I create an instance name. If I'm the Coca-Cola brand, I can create a Coca-Cola brand, and many people will like the idea of having their account on the Coca-Cola server. So in my case will be @franco@coca-cola.social, something like that. Okay. But if I'm a small brand, then I don't have enough traction to attract people and join my my instance. So generally speaking, unless you are working for a large company, just do your homework, find a instance where you believe your audience is, and join that audience, instance. Okay. And now these are very long lists, so I don't want to go through every single item, but basically there is a difference between Twitter and Mastodon. So, for example, on Mastodon, you can post messages, you can post content up to 500 charts. Mastodon is distributed, so as I said, you are not in the hands of single decision maker like Elon Musk. Also, the feed on Mastodon is not altered, is never altered modified by an algorithm. What the feed you see is strictly chronological feed. Okay, so the latest post will be at the top, the oldest at the bottom. Okay, there is no way to promote a single feed in a different way. Okay, and also, this is very important, there is no advertising on Mastodon. Everything you're going to do on Mastodon will be organic, okay, organic marketing. Even if you have a budget, Mastodon doesn't allow you to create any marketing campaign, paid marketing campaign, okay? And then there are technical information like the authentication is done at the local level, the moderation is also at the local level. So maybe if I can be banned from one instance, but I can stay on a different instance, okay? So when you ban somebody, this is affecting only your instance, the instance you control, okay? It doesn't affect other instances, okay? And the one limitation is that while Twitter has pretty good analytics, so you can really measure the results of what you are doing. Mastodon at the moment doesn't have any analytics, so you are left a little bit in the dark. Hopefully this will change soon. Now let's take a look at the Mastodon post. As you see, it's not really different from Twitter or Facebook post. We have on the top left, we have the author avatar, public name, and so on. And 1 second, 2 more people joining us. And then there is this blue area where means that your post is public. You can also post, create content that you want to share only to a limited group of people. There is the text part with the hashtag, as you see, and then there is optional video, short video, or an image. And then at the bottom, there is this toolbar where basically for the engagement, where you can reply, share, and so on. We will see this later, a little bit later in more detail, okay? So, as I said, I know this is a little bit crazy. This is the algorithm that, those are the rules, basically, that are telling you what you're going to see on your feed. Okay, so basically there is no, all those rules are about you're going to see post with hashtags you decided to follow. You will see a post from user you are following. Okay, but there is no like a promoted feed or promoted post. Okay. And somehow Mastodon has been designed to be antiviral. Okay, so we need to accept that, understand that it's going to be almost impossible to create viral content, but that doesn't mean we cannot reach a larger audience when we work with the organic part. Okay. So those are all the four main feeds that are available on Mastodon. So the home feed is like the feed from Twitter or Facebook. Okay, here you see posts from people that you're followed, hashtags you're following, and so on. Okay, and then there is the local feed. Here you will see everything happening on your local instance without any filter. Okay, so if you're on a small community, this will be very interesting. If you are on a large community, this is going to be basically just noise. Okay, too much stuff. Okay, and then there is the federated feed, where there is also a mix and match of people you follow with replies and so on. And finally, notification feed, where you get somebody's replying to your post or marking your post as a favorite and so on. You will be notified. Okay, and I try to define specific goals from the marketing point of view for each feed. Okay, so for example, if you use hashtag in your post, you can get visibility outside your instance. Okay, so if you want your post to be visible outside, be careful to select the best hashtags. Okay, and don't overdo it, because people can always mute or ban you if you are too aggressive or you are just making noise. Okay, so this is the usual good rules for social media. Try to bring some sort of contribution to your post. Should be useful or fun to read, or positive. Okay, then the local feed, as I said, this is very important. So for example, if I'm on a instance about marketers, then that's the right place where I can promote, for example, some marketing product, some marketing agency, and so on. If I'm on the instance for artists, then obviously I can promote brands selling, for example, colors for painters or classes for photographers, and so on. And so on. So each feed has different opportunities. Okay, and just try to remember that influencers, because the system is antiviral by design, influencers will not be so prominent. Okay, so influencers will maybe, I haven't seen any influencer on Mastodon, but if somebody becomes so popular that we can call this person an influencer, they will be visible on the federated feed. Okay, replying to another person post or if you favorite one of their posts, you will your name will appear in the notification feed. Okay, the last column here in this table. Okay, so engaging with other people is for sure a great way to gain visibility. It's not very scalable because you have to do it one by one, but it's working, okay? So just to remember, there are 4 different feeds, okay? That is slightly different, okay? And so because Mastodon is only showing me post containing the hashtag I'm following or post from users I'm following, at the beginning, your home feed and local feed, but home feed and federated feed will be completely empty, okay? So you will have to invest some time to look for people that are relevant for you, look for hashtags that are relevant for you, and start to follow them. And at this point, gradually your feeds will start to show some content, some movement. And then over time, as you add more hashtag, more people, then you become, you will go back to a situation similar to Facebook or Twitter, except for the fact that, one more time, all the feeds are strictly on chronological order, okay? There is no way to game the system, okay? And so marketers are already on Mastodon, okay? Not so many, so I had to spend some time looking for posts that were promoting some product, but I found some, okay? So as you see, those are all small brands, non-profit organizations, and so on. But marketers are already on Mastodon, so if you keep your expectation low, okay, there is nothing magic, so it takes out of work, and so it's, to me, it's kind of an investment that you do for the future, okay? At the moment, Mastodon is still a small social media, so the return on investment will be very small, but if you can establish yourself over time, there will be huge rewards for you, okay? So here's some additional recommendation, okay? First of all, when you, like every other social media, when you approach Mastodon, you start from your audience, okay? So first of all, you need to know exactly what is your audience, and then the audience you are trying to reach will define almost everything in the way you approach this social media platform. Will define which instance you're going to select, okay? Will define what kind of content you're going to post, will define what kind of engagement you are going to do, okay? So there is no space here to discuss how to define an audience. I assume it should be a concept that should be familiar for most of you. But so you start from the audience, and then you start to post some content, okay? One first recommendation is don't be pushy, because this is, audience is very engaged, so they're strongly opinionated, so they do not tolerate, you know, people coming and you know, making too much noise without any significant contribution. So try always to be helpful and useful and informational. Okay, stick to your brand topics. Okay. And don't forget that Mastodon also has polls that are usually really good in terms of engagement. Okay, people love to answer a poll. So, and in terms of getting visibility, as I said, followers and hashtags are the best way to get visibility. Okay, don't expect to reach 100,000 followers. It's too early. So if you get to a few hundred at the beginning, a few thousand over time, is already a big success. Okay, one more time, this is an investment we are making for horizon of like 1 year. Within 1 year, we will start to get our return on investment. Okay. You can also, I don't want to go into details, but basically when you post, you can say, okay, this post is visible only to my people I'm following, or is available to everybody, or is available, or is visible to only one person. Okay, so you have full control on the privacy level of your content, your post. Okay, and now we're going to spend some time talking about the SCARF rule, that is kind of general rule for social media. And my students, they should be quite familiar, but we will see the SCARF rule in the context of Mastodon. Okay, so let me go quickly. So SCARF is an acronym for shareable, clear, actionable, relevant, and findable. Okay, so those are the features I want to make sure every single post has. Okay, so let's go one by one. Shareable. Every post doesn't get shared by some magic property. People are sharing posts that are triggering some emotion, or they believe the content makes them feel smarter or interesting, and so on. Okay, so give people a good reason to share your post, and sometimes you can even ask people to share. Okay, so you see, this is a post from the Free Software Foundation, and they're asking explicitly to share this post. Okay, and shareable, here is the zoom on the toolbar at the bottom of each post. So there is, you have the option to reply, and with different level of privacy. Okay, you can reply in a private way or a public way. You can boost. Boost is equivalent to a retweet, but the difference is that when you boost post, there is no, you don't have the option to add your comment, your opinion. Okay, so it's just a mechanical. Okay. Mechanical way. Okay, and this is super important in order to get visibility. The more boost you receive, your content receive, the more visibility you get. Favorite is mostly your personal list of favorite tweets, has no impact on visibility or in terms of marketing. Bookmark is similar. And then we have the usual share, that is the cross-app share. So if I want to share a Mastodon post on WhatsApp or email, I can use that button. Okay, so the key buttons are the first two. Okay, clear, the second letter of this SCARF acronym. Clear, your post should be clear as much as possible. So the content, the structure, the formatting has to be as clear and easy to read, capture the attention without grammatical errors, and so on. So I created this, didn't create, I copy and paste this example of this, I guess it's a company, Jobs for Developers, and you see they leverage, for example, emoji to create a very post that is really capture the attention. Okay, when you scroll. Okay, so this is a good example of it's very clear, the content is very clear, and well, a very good structure, and also capture the attention. Okay, another objective goal when you post is to make sure that your post is actionable. Okay, so there is a call to action. Okay, in this example from Nicole is one of the people I follow on Mastodon and also on YouTube. You see, she says, join us on this channel. So there is a clear call to action. Okay, and So always include a call to action. This is a general recommendation for all social media, but also is very important for Mastodon. And don't, you know, there are some cases where you want to add more than one call to action, but try to keep the call to action down to one single. Okay, this is the most effective. Now, the other goal is to make sure your post is relevant. Okay, so relevant means is timely and relevant. So the example I was making to the class a couple of days ago is we are approaching Valentine's Day. So obviously you talk about Valentine's Day for the next 2 weeks and a half, and after that you stop. Okay, your content has to be relevant to the, for example, to the calendar, to the event. Okay, in this case, I included an example where this I don't know if it's a person or company. They are in a very silly and not too serious way. They are promoting a vending machine that is available to mall in some city in the United States. I don't know where, to be honest. And so always ask when you create a post, is this post meeting the user goals? Is there something that is relevant for the users? Is relevant for my business goals? Okay, if my business goal is to increase sales, is this helping people to move in the direction of to become a buyer? Okay, there are many steps before becoming a buyer, so I don't expect every single post to have a buy now call to action. What I expect is every single post to help your audience to make a little step in the direction of your final goal. That is, if you have an e-commerce, is the to buy. Okay, if you are a non-profit, maybe your goal is to make a donation. If you are a news magazine, maybe having people coming to your website and read the news, so you can serve them some advertising. Okay, and finally, this is also a very general recommendation. Make sure that your your post, the language and the tone is aligned, and the images are aligned with your brand personality and consistent. Okay, so always I'm quoting myself from the last class, digital marketing class. We were going through an example with Blue Nile, that is an online jewelry in the United States. And if you go on, if you post about engagement ring, obviously you want to a kind of a classy style. You don't want too much any slang. You want to because you are selling expensive products, so you want to project an image of to be reliable, to be trustworthy, and also probably you don't want to add a picture with happy family with kids because it's an engagement ring. Okay, so obviously, but so finally, our post should be findable. Okay, on Mastodon, the rule, the main way to be findable is to use hashtags. I don't think this is a horrible example. Okay, this lady is using too many hashtags, and she didn't even care of cleaning up the list. You see, we have 2 food porn in red, 2 foodie in blue here, 3 food. Okay, and she doesn't know. She's using different capitalization for the word. Mastodon doesn't care about the way you capitalize the word. So foodie all lowercase or foodie all uppercase is the same. Okay, so don't waste your time. Don't wait this don't, this post is a little bit too crowded, so many hashtags are a little bit distracting from the link, and personally, I don't really like also the picture, but that's me. Okay, so keep the number of hashtags within a reasonable. Try to be very selective. Think about your audience and the kind of message you want to send with this post, and be selective. Okay. I know that on Instagram, people, they go crazy with 50, 60, 100 hashtags. Don't do that, okay? Also, people are a little bit, sensitive here, so play nice, okay? What I can recommend is to use what is called camel case, okay? Like here at the top, you see 2023, a year for art. Okay, you see how the beginning of each word is capitalized. Okay, this makes the hashtag easier to read, and so this is something I would recommend. Okay, but try to remember, hashtags are case insensitive, means Mastodon will treat the hashtags all the same regardless of the capitalization. Okay, so final notes, we are getting close to the end. Okay, so my final recommendation is don't jump right away on a brand account. My recommendation is start with a personal account, try to learn the way the system works, do some experiment, play. It's your personal account, there is a lot to learn, and once you are a little bit more familiar, more confident with Mastodon, then only at that moment you can approach the task of creating an account for a brand. Okay, it's a different world compared to Twitter or Facebook, so investing some time is necessary. It's a good investment. Okay, don't assume just because things there are so many similarities, they are the same. They're kind of different. Okay, and as I said, the number of users is small, but the engagement at the moment is very high. So I see a good opportunity from my point of view in terms of marketing. Okay, and also try to remember there are no Mastodon marketing experts. Okay, people like me, we are all at the beginning. Okay, we are learning every day, so you can become one Mastodon marketing expert. Okay, if somebody claims to know everything about Mastodon, don't trust them. Okay, you can do, you can learn a lot. Okay, just playing with the system. And now I just want to switch quickly before the Q&A. Okay, so this is my personal account. Okay, so you see we have this column here. Okay, this is the main feed. This is the feed with notification, and then I can activate, for example, the local feed. Okay, so those are all the feeds from my, in this case, my Italian instance. Okay, so if I want to promote a brand for the Italian market, it's a good idea to be on this server. But if I'm trying to target the larger audience, more countries, the entire Europe, probably it's not a good idea to be on this server. Once you open a feed, you can always pin the feed. Okay, so, and then, for example, let's say I want to search something like Strasbourg. Okay, the hashtag Strasbourg. Okay, okay, this is the over time, what is the popularity of this hashtag. So I select this one. Okay, the hashtag, those are all the posts, recent posts, chronologically sorted about Strasbourg. If I like, I can, here I can, using this icon, I can follow this hashtag, and here I can pin this feed. Okay, so now I have a feed all about Strasbourg. Okay, and this I can keep adding as many feeds as I want. Okay, so now let's open the Q&A session. I haven't seen any question on the chat. So if you have, if there are statistics too, no, as I said, when I listed the differences between Twitter and Mastodon, one of the main limitation of Mastodon is they don't have any analytics. So we will only be able to look at the number of favorites and so on. Okay, so for example, if I don't know, I hope I don't have anything terrible here, but okay, let's see. So not very popular, but okay, recently. Okay, in this case, you see, I have somebody was sharing my my post. Here, another one was sharing my post, and then you can, you know, this is the maximum we have. Okay. Do you recommend as a methodology to measure the ROI? I suppose it can be complicated to convince a brand to start on Mastodon. Yes, to the ROI, yes, if you have, for example, call to action that are pushing people to a landing page, you can certainly measure how many people are you able to move, how many visitors you can generate from Mastodon, and how many of those visitors can end up buying your product. So this is doable. You can add some they're called UTM parameters. If you search Google for UTM tracking, you can find how to do that. And but as I said, at the moment, it's an investment for the future. Okay, I don't expect to break even when you start, when you approach Mastodon. The numbers are still too small, unless you really find a niche on Mastodon. But I don't know. I'm not. So I see a huge potential, but at the moment we are still working with very small numbers. Any other question? Any of you or is already on? Anybody is already on Mastodon? Anybody wants to share their experience? What is your your feedback or oops? No. Okay. Okay. So I tried last year. Somebody said I tried last year. Yes. It seems complicated. Yes, it seems a little bit complicated because you have to search for the feed. I agree. Let's say the user interface, there is a lot of space for improvement. Okay. But I expect the more popular Mastodon becomes, the better, the more resources will be available to improve the user interface. At the moment, is not the best. I agree. Okay. So one more time, look at Mastodon for the potential, not for what you can get back right now. Okay. So can be time consuming to certainly to invest to build a presence and to build a significant number of followers. But you have to consider that if you are the first, among the first, so this will give you an advantage over time, okay? Any other question, or we can just end the presentation? Okay, so because there are no other questions, I want to thank everybody for attending this presentation. I did my best to share with you everything I learned about Mastodon and some of my recommendations. And I really hope this will, generate some curiosity. Maybe some of you will open an account. I don't want to create too big expectations, but as I said, I believe it's strategic now to familiarize with the system, okay? And also it's just organic, so even if you want, you cannot, the only thing you can spend on Mastodon is your time. You cannot create a advertising campaign, so everything is organic, okay? So thank you very much, everybody, and it was a pleasure, and I'm gonna stop the recording, and thank you again, and have a good night. Bye.